Howdy, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of 31 Days of Indie Horror. I'm your host, Jonathan Moody, and I've got an awesome guest here. How are you doing? Now, pronounce your name exactly for everybody.
So my name is Mouse,
Mouse.
and
Was that an actual, given name?
it was given as a nickname when I was about 5 years old. So no, my real name is Victoria, but I've
Okay.
gone by Mouse since I was little. And if you find me on Facebook, you'll notice that it is spelled with a Z, so it looks like mouse as opposed to mouse because Facebook is um, wonky and will not allow me to have it spelled as mouse because it tells me it's not a real name.
Wait. So, yeah. So, but Mouse is?
I who knows. So
Well, welcome.
I've tried to redo it. I've tried to get around it, but no, it won't allow mouse as the animal. It will allow it with a Z for some reason. So it's
No,
just it's mouse.
it's Mouse. Okay.
It's
Because
mouse.
I think on IMDb it's listed as Mouse.
It
It's
is
not
mouse.
not Mouse, you know.
Yeah.
So that's what confused me at first because I saw it said, on IMDb is saying Mouse and then so it's
Yeah,
funny.
and I think Instagram, I have it as mouse, and I've even tried to put in my little bio, like it's just mouse or my name is mouse or something. I don't know why it won't let me change it. Facebook's kind of ridiculous that way, so
Yeah, yeah.
it's silly.
Facebook's silly because they just don't want people putting up like silly names that aren't real or aren't their real names. And
Who gives a shit?
I don't know.
It's
It's apparently Facebook. I don't know.
Facebook. It's
Mark
not
Zuckerberg.
LinkedIn.
He wants to know your real name, okay? And stalk you and shit. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. But anyway,
whatever. It's all right. I'm not so worried about it, but yeah, long story short,
it's Mouse.
it's mouse.
Okay, there we go. All right. So Mouse, welcome. And we're gonna be talking about a movie called Reed's Point, which I had never heard of before I picked it. And I was just, going through Tubi looking for they have a recommended section, if you
Mhm.
start watching enough of these horror films or whatever, they'll start recommending stuff. And what they recommended was this movie, and I was like, I don't even know what it was about. Like, I had no idea. I didn't even look at the story or anything. I wanted to go and completely, you know, um, uh, bare bones, did not know. And I'm sure you looked it up a little bit when you.
Well, it's funny because when you sent me the title and I looked it up, I got really excited because I knew exactly what the movie was about based off the title.
Oh.
Because I am a huge fan of cryptids.
Mhm.
And I have actually stayed in the woods and I have gone to other states and I have gone to museums and actually hunted cryptids per se, just as like a fun thing. So I actually know a insane amount. Well, I guess not insane amount. I know a lot about the Jersey Devil anyway.
Right.
So the name alone, although it's a little off from the origin story that I know, I guess you would say, I got really excited because I immediately knew what it was about, and I was like, "Sweet Jersey Devil, I'm
Yeah.
down. Let's watch
Like,
it."
like that thing right behind him.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy. I know I had no idea. So I was kind of excited because going in blind is always fun. And so I was like, okay, so are they going up to some place named Reed's Point and bad things are gonna happen? Kind of, sort of, I guess. The big bus that they take,
RV, yeah.
RV,
Uh-huh.
breaks, basically was it well, a deer gets in the road and they swerve off the road and crash. But they happen to crash in the area where apparently all the where the Jersey Devils supposedly, you know, and stuff. Now, you said you hunted cryptids and stuff and everything. Do you believe that do you believe that Sasquatch is out there somewhere?
um, I don't know. I don't ever say I believe or I don't believe because, or I'm not one way or the other because with certain things like creatures in the woods, Bigfoot, aliens, even it would be kind of stupid to think that that they don't exist 100% because I don't know. There's so much of the woods that we haven't explored or been to. So um and we're finding new things all the time. We didn't think that the colossal squid was a real thing up until recently. So to say that I don't believe is kind of stupid. I like to believe. I've never met any of these things, never seen any of them. So the automatic is like, nah, but it's fun and I'm
Right.
willing to believe. And I just like to explore and do fun things. So to me, if I have a reason to go walk in the woods and say it's because I'm looking for the Blair Witch or something, to me, that's exciting and fun. And, do I really think I'm going to find these things and take it super seriously like some people do? No offense to them, that's awesome. But no, I just do it more of like a cool, let's go outside and have a story to tell. And if we see something, if we hear something, it's usually just, a bird or something. And I'm more afraid of the boar or the bear that are in the woods. But maybe I'll find a Bigfoot one day and then I'll prove myself wrong.
Maybe. Um, so I got to meet you just mentioned Blair Witch. I actually this past weekend or so, not this weekend, that happened, but the weekend
Mhm.
before, I got to meet the mayor of Burkittsville.
Did you?
Yeah. So
Well, I don't know if that's exciting or not. How
I
did that
don't
go?
know, but it was weird. It was because
I
like
got really excited, but I don't know why.
well, I mean, he doesn't even get excited because he was just like, I got kind of just asked to do it, like nobody else wanted to. The mayor, so he's like, sure. So he does all the work, but it was just really funny because then I was like, okay, well, we got to ask you Blair Witch questions, or whatever,
Like, here we go
and
again.
none of them,
Was he
whatever.
cool
It's
about
just,
it?
yeah, he was just like, it's it's just a movie, like
Uh,
whatever.
See, I like when people at least like kind of play along and make it interesting and silly.
Yeah, I bet he does like there, at
Mhm.
when he's there, he kind of plays along, whatever. But maybe he doesn't. He seemed like that kind of guy that's just
He's
like,
the mayor. I don't know how
yeah, he's just
fun
like, I
being the
don't
mayor is.
care, you know. Um, he's not going to shut down the beaches and allow sharks, to attack. But this movie was interesting because there was I guess like a feud between the two families and stuff. And I didn't fully get it, like I feel like there was stuff that like just I just didn't understand. So I was just like, all right,
Oh, I can kind of help with this. So I agree. The movie was, it had some holes in it and it was missing some things. So there's a lot that kind of doesn't make sense or like just
right.
kind of lose space. But I appreciated it because knowing the origin story of the Jersey Devil, I got excited that the fact that there was the Franklins and there was, well, they call them the Reeds in this movie. When the original story, sorry, cats are running all around. So the original story, they were the Leeds. It's Leeds
Mhm.
Point. It's not Reed's Point. I don't know if they had to change that for
I'm
some.
surprised then they kept the Franklins,
Yeah,
if
I guess maybe because that's such a common name, but I wasn't sure why when I saw Reed's Point, I was like, all right, I know about Leeds Point because Leeds was the last name of the original family from the area. And that's the family that started, the whole Jersey Devil stuff came from. So let's see if I can figure out how to sum this up properly. So in 1700s, Daniel Leeds owned the land and it turned into Leeds Point. And he was a publisher and he was wrote the almanac in the area. And he was a rival publisher with Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin wrote the almanac. So they didn't like each other.
hmm
And so in the area, I guess they would like write shit about each other, I guess. And the town was obviously very conservative. So they started ostracizing Leeds because of the almanac and its astrological writings and signs. So they kind of pushed him towards being like the weirdo. It's too pagan. You need to back off, kind of thing.
hmm
So he was just kind of turned into like he was the negative guy in town. He was like kind of the evil guy in town. So that kind of started it. And then when he got older, he passed the almanac company or publishing company or whatever you call it to his son. His name was Titan, which is a badass name.
That is a
Um,
badass name. I'm gonna name my son Titan.
so he was in charge of it and he started writing it. And what he started doing was putting the family crest sign on the front of the almanacs. And the
Mm.
family crest sign was like a winged dragon creature thing. So the symbol of like the creature with the wings and looking kind of like a dragon, like a devil, became like a thing in town. Like if you had the almanac that had the devil on the front, that was evil. So the family name started getting associated with just evil and devil in itself. And Franklin started writing. He predicted Titan's death in one of his almanacs or something as like a joke to mess with him. And there was a back and forth there. So something turned into Franklin writing about how Titan wasn't really writing these almanacs anymore because he's dead now. So it's Titan's ghost. So it was something like with the family being evil and pagan and devil, and the Titan's dead, so it's the ghost writing. So that's kind of how it started. Like, so the family name itself and the area and the woods
Mm.
turned into like an evil pagan, like, duh, that's the Leeds point. The devil worshippers are in there. And then I think the more
Why didn't they put any of this into the movie?
well they did put so I liked that the rival with the names at least I thought was kind of clever and the wife the Reed's wife whatever her name I'm shitty with names sorry she talks about how the family originally had so there was the wife and husband who had 12 kids they talk about that in the movie, which is also where they think the Jersey Devil came from. But this is after the almanac and all that. So you go down the line. Deborah and something. Deborah was the wife, and the husband. They did have 12 kids. They did live on the land, and there was like a will in at the time that was published or written, or they found the will from the husband that said that there was 12 kids. So they legit had 12 kids, which is fucking nuts. So the
Yeah,
story is that so they're already in an evil family or the devil's family, right? And they have 12 kids, which is kind of unheard of back then. Like that's just, I mean,
that's
having a lot.
unheard of now.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
having a lot of kids made sense for being on a farm or whatever. But I think just you know they what is statistically like they would have died or like
That's
illnesses and such. So having 12 live for the full I don't know. But anyway, so I guess the story is that she got pregnant again and she was so fed up with being knocked up for the 13th time and it was number 13 of course that she like cursed the baby because she was just done with it and so the baby came out and was like this monster and killed everybody and
so
flew
that's
off
supposed to
the
be
woods and so he's the devil
so
I
the
guess
okay, wow.
so it's like it's kind of stems from the old, just like people thinking that the original dude with his writings was, too pagan and anti-Christian, which makes a lot more sense. Everything stems from something kind of like that. So the name alone, I think, took on the devil name because it used to be called the Jersey Devil or the Leeds Devil were the
Did
names.
did you watch the whole credits to see if it was filmed in the real area?
No, I didn't actually. But I mean, it had to have been filmed. I
Close by?
could probably look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and a lot of movies are filmed in like I don't know if it was filmed in Jersey because the Jersey Devil goes from South Jersey and Pennsylvania, so it may have been Ohio. I mean, there's so much. You're in Virginia. There's so much woods up that way.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been anywhere, but I should look it up. Are you
And
looking here?
I'm trying to look it up too. It just doesn't say on IMDb. Maybe it's on like Google or something. But that's interesting that they would do that. Um
So yeah, I'll try to look it up. too. But anyways, yeah, my long ass story. The names to me, I thought it was clever for them doing Franklin and Leeds because of like the kind of rival between Franklin and Leeds in real life. So somebody, whichever person wrote that part actually did some research there, which I thought was cool. But in the movie itself, they're using the Reed's family is using the story of the Jersey Devil to get back at the Franklin family because the dad wouldn't sell the land or something like that
Right.
to them, right? So the son is dressing up as the Jersey Devil to have sightings of the Jersey Devil so that they can kill people and make it look like it was the Jersey Devil because nobody's going to believe them or go into the woods to investigate, I guess. When in real, there's really a Jersey Devil too. So it's kind of
Yeah, oh
like a
yeah. They kind
Scooby
of
Doo
give you
thing.
that like yeah, they give you that like twist at the end. And I kind of saw it coming,
Yeah.
before then because even my brain I go, it would be cool if like a real Jersey Devil came and,
Uh-huh.
actually started killing everybody. And then it did. And then
Well,
I
it's
was
an
like,
indie horror movie. You kind of knew it was coming. Like it had to,
yeah.
or else it wouldn't be a horror
Oh,
movie.
then everybody would have been mad because then they'd be like, man, I came to watch a Jersey Devil movie and I saw a guy in a suit,
Yeah.
and that's really what it is. But I don't know. It's funny because the costumes look the same pretty much. So it was
They
almost
do a little
like,
bit.
so it was like, wait, did they know that there was a Jersey Devil and they
Yeah,
were,
that part I didn't. So yeah, so the family has the son dressing up as the Jersey Devil and run around the woods to scare everybody. But then you also see the actual Jersey Devil. So did the family, I don't think the family knew that there was really a Jersey Devil and they were just using that as a story for their own kind of gain and whatever they were trying to do with the family.
see, it would have been cool if they did incorporate some of what you said, because like what you had said too was that like that it was the people thought like the son was the Jersey Devil, right? Or whatever. The son Kate ran out and
The 13th
the
baby.
13th
Yeah.
cursed
Yeah. The
baby.
baby turned into a little tiny devil and killed
Right,
everybody, which
right. And
is
it would have
funny
been
to
cool if they put
visualize.
that into like a story, into the story, like at the end you actually see it, but like you would have to be told that a little bit more of that story that you
Yeah.
told me, and they would have had to be like, did you know the stuff about this? And sometimes that's annoying in a movie where they're kind of explaining everything,
Mhm.
and whatnot, but sometimes you kind of need that because
Yeah.
like this movie, once again, I think you're right. Like it had a couple parts where it was explaining the stuff, and then some that were like plot holes.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
because she does try to explain the whole story of the babies and the 13th kid was cursed or something. But it and I think they tried to do that as like seeming like a long line of rivals between the two families, which is true, but then they just turned it into like, so we're the crazy family who's going to kill people and we're going to use this legend, and then we're pissed because your dad wouldn't sell us the land or tried to take the land away or whatever he was doing. So it was kind of, I don't know, it's weird because I'm like, with so much of the movie, I'm mixed. I'm like, that part's cool, but that part makes no damn sense, which is
right.
cool too. I like when it makes no sense, actually. Like that, I'm fine with that. I think I don't I don't understand it. Sarah at the end. So
Hmm.
there's Sarah and Kelsey, the cousins.
Right.
Kelsey's the one who got in the accident and doesn't remember anything, and who was like kidnapped by the Reeds family, right? And she
Hmm.
thinks that's her new family. So
Which I didn't get that at all, unless like, I mean, it's I didn't I like you would have to like brainwash the person in order for that to really happen, because like people don't just lose memories like that. You know what I mean? Like nobody just has a
well, that's
blank
what
slate.
when I was watching it, I was trying to figure out. I was like, okay, wait a minute. Did she? Because she shows like the scar on her head, and it's
Hmm.
a year later, right? So I was like, okay, does she have amnesia or is this like a Stockholm syndrome type of deal? Because
I
it's
thought it was Stockholm at
I
first
did too,
because,
but then the son who she thinks is her brother,
right.
he says she doesn't have any memory of anything anyway. So I think they said that to make it seem like she had full on amnesia from her accident and brain injury. I'm guessing that's what they want us to believe with the scar on her forehead,
Mm-hmm.
and that she was found and they fixed her up so she didn't bleed to death. And then they were like, you don't remember anything, so you're a Reeds and you stay in the house and this is your brother. I don't know why they would keep her around though.
I don't know either. But the funniest thing is when the dude, the boyfriend comes up and starts kissing her, and she's like, I don't know who you are, but like she's into the kiss. Like if you see it, she's like all full on, like, whoa, hey, And then he does it again. And I'm like, okay, first of all, is that technically, rape a little bit?
A little bit. It's
Like
it's
she's
inappropriate.
like even though they're boyfriend girlfriend, like before, like a year before, she don't
Mm,
remember you, dude.
he's
Like,
just going with it. Yeah, but
he's
he
just like,
doesn't know that she doesn't remember at that point, right?
right. I don't think so. She
Yeah.
like no, because
He doesn't know.
she does say, I don't know who you are. And
Maybe they
so,
were going for the like, you'll remember me once I kiss you. The kiss will have the answers kind of deal.
well, I mean, she was into it, but I don't think, or whatever. I mean, she wasn't telling him stop, or whatever. But technically she was very confused as to why this random person was kissing her, you know, which I was like, okay, whatever.
She is
Um,
confused all around. I like how when she's in the bedroom with her cousin Sarah, and Sarah's like, I need to get you out of here. And she's like, no, this is my family and I live here. And then it cuts to the son who she thinks is her brother coming in.
mm-hmm.
And there's like they trick him and she hits him over the head to knock him out to get away all of a sudden. And then she stops at the gate and is like, wait, no, I can't leave. This is it's like she goes from like, okay, I'm game, I gotta go, to I can't go, to okay, I gotta go, to like it just goes off and on so quickly. It's really funny. I thought that was interesting.
So my favorite character in the whole movie was Steve, the random
Is
crazy
that
guy.
Joe Estevez's character?
Joe Estevez, man. That was nuts. He was so I'm watching the credits. Remember, I told you I had no idea what anything about this movie other than the
Gotcha.
title. And even then I was not aware of the Jersey Devil story.
Mm-hmm.
Had I been like you, I probably would have put, two and two together. At least I would have thought of Leeds Point. But so I see Joe Estevez's name in the credits,
Mm-hmm.
pop up, and I go, because it goes, and Joe Estevez, and I'm like, so there's like all these people I've never heard of, and then Joe Estevez, and I'm like, who is he gonna play? And then they basically give him the part of like the guy from Friday the 13th that's just like, you're all doomed, the
Yeah.
crazy guy,
Yeah,
he's
just
not,
the random crazy towns guy who yells stuff when is
yeah,
actually the one trying to help everybody. The moment I saw him on camera, I was like, that's a fucking Estevez. I was like,
yeah.
it's not Emilio, but that's one of them because he's got the same damn face. So I had to look it up and double check, and I was like, holy shit, that was their selling point. They're like, we have an Estevez, and I was like, that's pretty fun.
I've had him on my show actually. I've interviewed
Really
him. Yeah, he's really
cool.
sweet. Yeah, he's a nice guy. But on Indie Film Cafe, my normal like big podcast that we do, we review like a bunch of different indie films, and one of the, anytime Joe Estevez pops up, I mean he's in a lot of movies.
He
Trust
is.
me. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very very prolific. For being in B movies. And he's always great. The movies he's in sometimes aren't. This happened to he happened to be lucky with this one that it wasn't as bad. Though the reviews on IMDb were not great for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw them after I watched the movie and I was like, man, people are really hating on this movie.
Yeah.
Like I didn't understand. I think most of these people just don't watch indie films and they just don't
Yeah.
get like this type of thing, but
Yeah, no, I agree. I think people who review movies are just there to, they're just shit talkers anyway. You rarely see them like give a lot of credit to things.
you're saying
And
the
that
ones on
kind of,
IMDb or something, or
I don't just, I think anytime I've ever seen movie reviews, like,
hey,
well,
we're
yeah,
doing one right now.
written reviews for the most part, like any written reviews I've seen about a lot of movies. And granted, I haven't read a lot, I guess, to be honest, but I did scan through a few before we did this about this movie just to see what other people thought. And it's just always negative and just, the bad stuff. And you kind of have to take it for what it is. And especially in indie horror, like
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be corny. It's supposed to be kind of shitty. It's supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
like you don't have all the answers. Like, a lot of that. I appreciate a lot of that kind of stuff, and I think it's fun. And I like to let my brain kind of do a lot of it. Like, yeah, there's holes, there's some gaps, there's not the best acting in some of it, but fucking who does?
You're right. Uh, I mean, there were some moments I was like, okay, that they could have done another take on it, or
Mhm.
something, and done it better. But these actors were actually pretty damn good. Like, I don't think there was anybody I was going, ugh, or cringing when I was watching them,
Mhm.
Uh, the only thing I really didn't like, and this is, it was understandable because they needed like another person to kind of come in and do whatever. But the person who gave them the assignment, I was like, why did she come back?
Oh, the in the library,
Yeah, the
and then
library
she
girl.
comes back from the cop car.
No, she comes in.
No, that's a
Yeah,
different girl.
that's a different girl, I think.
I think
There's
that's a
yeah,
different
she
girl.
was yeah, that was I think the person who ran the diner or something. But
Oh
like the girl, but I think the girl came in there and she was like wandering around, and I'm like, at night, no less.
yeah.
And I'm like, why would she be joining? Like, because like I was just like, I don't like, I get it that she's worried about them, but
hmm
like that's when you call the cops or you say
Yeah.
something or like wait till there's a missing person to like do something because you're just putting yourself in danger. But once again, they need that kind of thing because they need an extra person because this movie was kind of short already. Like
hmm
it wasn't an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was short.
It was short. So like I think it was an hour and like 16, 17 minutes, something like that. So like which, is good actually for an indie film, that's
hmm
sort of 'cause I hate when I pick a movie and I'm like, oh shit, it's 2 hours long. I
yeah,
don't
that's
really.
commitment. yeah.
Yeah, and plus with Tubi and all the commercials, a two
hmm
hours can be a 3 hour ordeal right there.
Yeah.
So at least this was like an hour and a half with the commercials, and I was cool with that. Like it was, and it didn't drag at all. I didn't think. I mean, I didn't think there was any boring
No,
parts
it
to
wasn't
it.
like too slow. And I don't remember any parts where I was like, oh my God, I just want to turn this off. Can I just turn this off?
It happened.
There's been tons of movies where I'm like, okay, they could have done this in 10 minutes and it's been 45. Like, can we speed this up or I'll watch the rest of this later. Like, I didn't have any of that.
And there
So
was a
that's
lot of
good.
action, which was
Mhm.
good because a lot of these indie horror films, a lot of it is talk because talk is cheap,
Mhm.
literally. Like it's not very expensive to have two people talking or five people bickering with each other for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
before another person gets killed. So this movie had a lot of action. Um, the people get lost in the woods. Uh, even the guide loses them at one point, and I'm like, okay, he's setting up something, like he's obviously a part of this whole thing, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah. I think you
Um,
kind of knew that from the start. You know what my favorite part of the movie was, and this is going to seem probably really stupid, but I noticed it immediately and I appreciated it. I don't know if you saw it, but when Sarah and Alex go to the little cafe before they go into the woods, the sign, like the sign on the wall at the cafe is like flipping and advertising the food that they have, and it's all devil stuff. It's deviled
nice.
food, it's deviled eggs. It's like I loved that. I thought
I
that was
wonder if that's a real place. Like, I wonder if they really
yeah.
did shoot in the area and there really is a Devil's Cafe and they just said either they know somebody who works there or they,
I'm if there is, I'm gonna go because that's exciting, and I love when they
right.
have shit like that.
That to me is kind of cool. Like once again, to go back to like Burkittsville,
Hmm.
Maryland, I'm sure they do stuff there for the Blair Witch stuff,
Hmm.
or whatever. I mean, you're allowed, I think, to go to like the cemetery and other stuff that they have there,
Hmm.
that sets up. You just probably gotta be careful there, don't
Yeah, I
um
don't know. They're probably pretty strict about the woods. There, I've always wanted to be able to camp there, but I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
I
Well,
don't
that's true of a lot of woods, though, I guess.
Yeah, you're not really supposed to camp in a lot of woods. In my backyard, we have woods, and we tried to shoot in the woods. And
Hmm.
I found out that some lady actually owned the woods, and she was walking around with a hatchet in her hand and a dog by
Holy
her.
shit!
So we named her Hatchet Lady, and
Good name.
she chatted with us and pulled out a map and showed what part of the woods she owned and which ones she didn't. And it was like half of the creek,
Good Lord.
or whatever.
Uh-huh.
And so we're like, oh, like, and I was like, I mean, can we just shoot here? Like, we're not
Calm
gonna
down.
bother anything.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, no, I don't want you guys here, and everything. And I was like,
See,
all
I don't
right.
like that crap either. It bugs me when I mean, hey, it's just like be cool if somebody's being cool, but also um things areas where they have something cool like the Jersey Devil, or there's a lot of little places like with hell gates and all kinds of weird lore and stuff like that, and somebody always buys it and shuts it down, and nobody's allowed to go visit it or do anything cool like you said
Amityville,
yeah,
the Amityville
Amityville.
house.
And you said it in Burkittsville, like I hope that they do something like for the Blair Witch, like, or there's something that you can take pictures next to, something like that. When I went to West Virginia, if you go, have you heard of the Flatwoods Monster?
I think so. Like that name sounds familiar.
So there's
Where's
a
that?
Braxton County or something like that. It's in West Virginia.
Okay.
A lot of West Virginia stuff. But the town where the Flatwoods Monster is famous, there's a museum, and they have like 5 chairs, like these big wooden chairs that you can find all over town and sit with, and they're shaped like the Flatwoods Monster. And I
Nice.
love that kind of stuff. Like the town kind of understands that the lore or the cryptid or whatever is kind of brings people to their town. And it's a really,
Mm-hmm.
really tiny town too, so they kind of play off of that. But it can bring fun and money as opposed to,
People just
evil or
saying,
people messing with the town or vandalizing or Satan worshiping or something stupid that people think is really going to happen when it's not.
no. I mean, I always love because okay, so I went up to Pennsylvania for a horror convention
Mm-hmm.
years ago, Horror Realm on Pittsburgh, I think it was. And
Mm-hmm.
right outside of that area or whatever, we went to the next, like the day before we went, I mean the day we were going home, me and my friends decided to go to the mall that Dawn of the Dead was at.
Nice.
And it was a mall, like literally just, to them, I'm not a huge zombie fan, so like to me it was just walking around a mall, and junk. But to everybody else, they're like, oh my God, this is where this happened, this is where that happened. Nobody said, oh my God, you guys can't be here taking pictures of
Yeah.
the mall because, you guys are gonna dress up like
But did
zombies.
they
Like
have anything fun in the mall anywhere that was like, this is where this movie was filmed? They probably
probably, I just don't really
they probably did.
remember.
I don't think
Um,
places really have that. In my brain they do because that's fun to me, but
Yeah, I don't really remember. I would like to go back, because I think I wasn't. It was the day after the convention, and I was not in the. I
yeah,
literally just wanted to get home.
super tired. Yeah. No,
Yeah. So I don't think I remembered a lot of stuff, but whatever. I think I would want to go if I ever go back up that to one of those conventions or something. Have you ever been to any of the horror conventions?
I have only been to one horror convention, which was shit. I mean, it was a while ago. It was probably, I don't know, 8 years ago, 7 or 8 years ago. But it was near Virginia Beach. It was like in the Hampton
So
area.
you went to Blood on the
I went
Beach.
to Blood on the Beach, and they only
Yes.
did it one time.
They actually had it three times, but the
Did they? I
last
thought that they
time
had it the one time, and then they
that
shut
the
it down.
last time they
One
shut
of
it
them.
down, sadly. I was there all three times, so I might have passed by you and didn't
You
know it.
probably did.
Yeah.
That's so
Uh,
that was super fun.
yeah, it's we had scares that care, and unfortunately, we just heard this week because we that was where I was at
Yeah, that got
and
canceled or
met the
something. Yeah.
yeah, it's done
Shitty.
sadly. Well, no, it's not. It's they are a charity event,
Hmm.
so it's more along the lines of like, are we spending more money than we're earning
Yeah.
for our stuff? So you have to be practical and understand, and it's expensive now to hold a convention. Hey, sorry, my dog is going crazy. You got your cats, I got my dog.
See, it
So
balances. It
yeah,
balances.
exactly. But anyway, Rocky, shh, come here, come here. All right.
Mm.
Hopefully he listens to me. Anyway, you can't hear him, can you?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so he's just driving me nuts, not anybody else. All right, great.
No, you're good.
Um,
He's
okay.
good.
All right.
Yeah, sorry. I tend to get off topic too. I get excited about things.
Well, yeah, so anyway, they're not having it again, which sucks because it was like their eighth year, I think, so I'm like,
Hmm.
dang, I was hoping at least they get to 10 before they were like, oh, we're done, but you know.
Well, that's
What
too bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It is what it is. I'm just happy we had one, and we have a couple in town, but not really big ones,
I need
or
to go
anything.
to more, but I tend to spend so much money there that I get myself in trouble. So,
Yeah. Me for DVDs, I spend all my money on the DVDs and maybe a couple what is it? A couple movies or like not autographs. I don't get those anymore, but I get like selfies with like famous people,
oh,
you
I
know.
like yeah, I'll get the autographs and selfies, and then just merch. If there's like a cool hoodie I've never seen, it's just hard to pass up.
Right. You know. But I am excited because like this will be out in October for 31 days of indie horror,
Mhm.
and in late October-ish, I'll be at Scarefest in Lexington. So
Cool.
yeah, so it's gonna be weird because it's gonna come out, and then a couple days later, I'm gonna hopefully, fingers crossed, be heading out there. Never know in what 2 months, what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
You never know in 2 months what will happen. You
It'll be
know.
fine.
Yeah.
It'll be
Uh,
fine. It'll be good.
so is there so you said what was your favorite part of this movie? Was just the
It was the
uh
damn sign in the cafe. It made me very happy.
that made you happy that they
Yeah, it
actually
did. I appreciated that that was in there. So that I thought was very fun. I also liked at the end when the actual Jersey Devil is kind of he's on top of crap. What's her name? Kelsey,
Kelsey.
the redhead, the one who doesn't
Yeah.
remember anything. So she's on her back in the woods. She's fallen down, and he's like over her, and his face is like right over her like that, and he's like slobbering on, bleeding on her a little bit. I like that scene because it reminds me of the movie Feast.
Oh yeah. I
And
didn't even
that's
pick
like
that up.
where he puts his head over top of her head, same kind of thing. And I just like that shot a whole lot for some reason. I didn't
Mhm.
really understand though that so she puts her hand on his face and then he just kind of goes away. So I didn't know if that meant like he like she was compassionate to him or something and so he backed off or he loves her because at the end she follows him into the woods like she goes calmly with him like are they a weird couple now or is she just like because she's easily like swayed now because she doesn't know anything that she's just like, okay, I go with the monster now. So I just
That part was so strange. And then you were saying like the stuff with the Sarah like saying the devil's real or
yeah,
whatever at the end.
her like whatever she was muttering and repeating
Yeah.
when she left the woods, like she was automatically insane.
Yeah, which I didn't get
And she
to
left Kelsey
either.
in the woods, like they separated,
Which
and then
that
she was
part really
nuts.
drove me nuts because she was such a strong character up until they just made her a mess of a person. And I
Yeah.
don't know what the point I don't know what the Reed's point of that is. I have no idea. Like what was it? Like why did they do that?
Yeah.
But
They needed to wrap it up, but it was kind of like, I don't like to shit talk it always. Like it was what it was, but it was kind of weird. Like she was like, no, I feel my cousin's alive. I can feel her. I can feel it. And then like they're in the woods and then they separate. And then all of a sudden Sarah is out of the woods and is insane and saying this
yeah,
sentence
she wasn't
over.
like that like 2 minutes ago,
Yeah, she's like,
like
he's coming, he's gonna take my soul, he's coming, he's gonna take. I was like, okay, so she's fucking nuts all of a sudden, and now there happens to be like she found the road somehow very easily too, and then as soon as she hit the road, she was crazy, and then there was a cop car, so
yeah.
that was kind of weird, and then then she disappeared.
Yeah, I
Remember
guess
they put her in the back of the cop car, and they turned around and she's fucking gone all of a sudden, and then the Jersey Devils in the driver's seat.
yeah.
We're giving total spoilers, right? We're just
Oh
it's
yeah, we're allowed. Yeah.
so
Yeah. If they haven't seen it on
so the cop
Tubi,
so
then
Sarah disappears in the backseat, the cop disappears, and then there's the Jersey Devil
all
who
right.
surprises the other broad who's in the passenger seat.
I
It's
think there
fun.
was
I don't
this
understand it, but it's fun. Whatever works.
is that how you sum up this movie? It was fun. I don't understand it, but it was fun.
That is how I sum up most things in my life. And
As long as it's fun,
I'm
which
totally okay with that. Yes. My mottos are usually like if it's fun, sure, or in yeah, fuck it.
yeah, because like if it's fun, you can just suspend your disbelief. I mean, if you're watching a movie about the Jersey Devil already, you're already suspending your disbelief,
Yeah.
but
You're not looking for a whole lot. Like if you're really looking for like a super, super award-winning movie, just shut the hell up. Get out. Like put something else on then. That's okay if that's not your deal. I did really like that whether people think it was done well or not, I don't give a shit, but I will always, always, always give props to practical effects.
mm-hmm.
And it had practical effects, so I like it.
You don't like CGI effects yourself,
It can
personally.
be done well, and I don't want to talk shit on that either because I don't know how to do it. And
Right.
there are a lot of fun. There's CGI that I don't even notice is CGI on things, I'm sure. But anytime there's CGI blood and I can tell it's CGI blood, I'm gonna get mad.
Mm.
I want practical effects. I want shitty, or well done practical effects because that's just how I am. And
I mean, if it's
I
well
like it.
done, great. If it's
I don't even
shitty,
care if it's shittily done.
it, yeah, I mean, because as long as the people are putting in effort, you know,
Yeah,
that's
it's
really
just
what
like
it
the
comes
old
down
school
to.
way and the hands-on. And I understand that again, there's things with CGI that are hands-on and they're done really well that I don't know shit about. So
Hmm.
I can't talk too much crap on that. But everything I know about my indie horror and regular horror movie watching, I've always really appreciated practical effects. And I think it looks cooler. I think it's fun, even if it's not done well. I don't care. Again, I can't do it. I think it looks fun. And I like that somebody was in there playing with gallons of blood and trying to fucking do latex and, pumping things through. I appreciate it more for some reason.
Well, that's good. I do too. I agree. But it's so funny because you see movies like Hatchet, where they are over the top,
Love it. I love
killing
Hatch.
stuff. Yeah. Hatchet's one of my favorite films of all time. Like I love that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But like just the idea of like the people's heads being crushed and all of a sudden like blood just like
Yup.
fountains, which would not happen, right? But
You don't
you
know.
don't care. I mean, I don't know because I've never done that to somebody. I can't say that.
I love
Um,
that. You can see that's practical effects, even though it's so extra and it's so over the top. Like, why the fuck not? Because people don't want to see. I mean, some people might, who knows? But I don't want to see somebody's head get ripped off and then it's just like a little bit of blood. Like, yeah, I want to see it like fucking Army of Darkness style, where it's just like shot backwards and it looks ridiculous. But I like just insanity all over. So,
well, I mean, you look at a movie like Friday the 13th, the original,
mhm.
the original movie with the mom, and spoiler alert, Jason was not, the killer in that movie.
People don't
I,
know that by now. Come on.
um, yeah. So anyway, like was it when she gets her head chopped off, right?
Yeah.
You don't really see a lot of blood. You see whatever, and then you see her going like this,
Mm-hmm.
and then falling and stuff. And when you see all these other movies, they go a little bit more over the top. I like it both ways. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sounds crazy, but I like if Tom Savini did those
Mm-hmm.
effects, and he probably was thinking, well, I mean, I'm trying to make this as sort of realistic as it can be, because the only thing I didn't find realistic about the original Friday the 13th, and people might kill me for this, but I don't believe that old woman can do half the shit that she did. I can understand her walking and not running, you
Mm-hmm.
know? Like, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, the
why
son
doesn't
carried that one on. Yeah.
I,
Yeah, no, I like those too. I agree. I like when it's simple. I like when it's over the top and knowing how that the head cut off thing was really just the dude with his head like this and then they did like the fake head cut off thing. So they couldn't really do a whole lot of blood. Just like they made that movie as cheap as they could and I think that was end of story.
well, that
Like,
was, yeah, I mean,
and it was like, yeah, it was like Savini. Who was the other guy that did the practical effects with him? I don't remember his
I don't
name, but
remember.
and they were just doing it on the fly for the most part.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, that
everything
was
is
like their
just like,
first big thing.
how do we do this? Let's do like here's an idea. Okay, that's not gonna work, so let's fucking do it this way. Cut her head off. So I agree. It doesn't always have to be like gallons and gallons and gallons of blood, but for the most part, I prefer the gallons and gallons of blood.
Well, if you can afford to have like a fountain blood shootout, great.
Yeah.
If you can't, do with what you can. This movie did do that. This movie did what they could with the effects, and
Mm-hmm.
I was actually fairly shocked, once again, because once again, I never heard of this. Like, it's not something that was like talked about like on Facebook. Oh my God, you got to check out Reed's Point.
Yeah.
Hopefully people do, and check it
Yeah.
out and whatnot. That's why I picked this,
Yeah.
kind of thing, because
Which is kind of interesting because the main character, Sarah's character, she is like a singer and what do you call it? An influencer.
hmm
She's a social media influencer, which I don't care if that's showing my age. I'll never understand what that is. Like I know what it is, but it's just I can't believe that's a thing. But so and the one of the other girls, the reporter girl that was in the library, she's like a social media person. I mean, everybody's a social media person, but I mean, like they're like influencers, and I think she does some more acting too and
are
modeling
you
and stuff
talking
like
about
that.
the actress or the character?
The actual actress.
Actress. Okay, I was thinking that because I was like, wait, I don't remember, because that would have been a cool like twist on the whole thing of like the journalism,
Yeah,
of like, hey, why don't we do because everything is all like TikTok these days and
yeah,
shit and stuff like that, and social media influencing. So it would have been interesting to like, oh, we have this social media influencer, coming to be in the movie. Let's put that into the script.
yeah,
She's a journalist person. She's well, she is a journalist who's doing social media stuff. And then you could have like live videos where they see where people are seeing her get attacked by this, beast
See,
and stuff.
let's just rewrite the movie, man.
Well, I mean, see, that would have been cool. I don't know. I would have liked that.
Let's go with it.
Um, maybe that's another movie. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
No, I
it's
just meant like in real life that she's a like an influencer. And granted, I don't know if what how that works exactly and what you have to stay within kind of shit, but
I don't know how many people you have to have follow you before you can be called an influencer,
and I guess yeah, and you probably and again, people are going to make fun of me because I don't know how it works, but if you're an influencer, you get popular and then companies pay you to sell their shit to other people because they
Right.
listen to you for some fucking reason, right? Because you're an influencer.
Yeah.
So I guess me thinking that since she is followed by thousands of people as an influencer, the movie would maybe be shared or seen more often. But again, I don't know how many influencers there are in the world. I've never seen this broad before. So
Which one was she? You said she was the girl who
Sarah,
played Sarah.
yeah,
Yeah, I didn't know her either, and I didn't look her up, so I had no idea she was an influencer. But that's the thing is like almost anybody can be called one if you have like a following, right?
yeah.
Like as
But I think
long
that's like she's got the check mark thing that I think
the
everybody.
verified,
Yeah, she's
check mark.
official.
So
Yeah,
she's official. Okay.
an
I mean,
official. Yeah, and I think she sings too.
that's always a good thing. But see, here's the thing. She was actually a good actress too, which I hate to say it, but some social media influencers might not be good actors.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that all of them, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them got to be social media influencers because of something they did that ended up making them famous,
yeah.
which could be acting. I don't know this chick at all either, so I have no idea. Uh, I didn't know she was a whatever, but I liked her acting. I thought she was, I mean, there were times maybe a little bit where she was a little rigid, with stuff that she would say. Like she
Yeah,
would,
it was a little stale
yeah, a
sometimes.
little
But
stale, but but then once things start really happening and ramping up, I mean, she was good, like
yeah, yeah. I thought it was funny. I think the part that I was maybe quietly criticizing the most is and they probably could have left out of the movie because of this is when Alex, the dude, the main dude in the movie, he like tumbles down the hill or whatever and his leg gets caught in the tree and he's got a compound fracture. His fucking bone is sticking out of his shit. And he's just like, ow. Like, and like they get his leg out and he's walking around and shit. And he's like, I don't think I can go that far. Like, I like he knew the words to say and everything, but like my brain, I'm like, your fucking bone
is
is sticking
sticking
out of
out.
your skin.
You should
You
be
would
like
be able,
yelling and
you'd be like, like a little more. And I don't want to criticize the acting. It's just
oh, stop it, because you're saying that the whole time. You're like, I don't want to shit talk. I don't want to
because I don't, I don't,
criticize.
I don't like being a shit talker ever. Like
But
I'm
it's
also an honest person, and I'm like, all right,
right.
if somebody were like, all right, you need to act this part, and your bone's sticking out of your leg because you hit a tree with it or something or whatever happened, and then you got to walk around, and I get like you're fighting for your life, so like it's fight or flight kind of shit, but at
Mm-hmm.
the same time, it was just he's clearly never had a bone sticking out of his leg before. He didn't know how to.
Well, I haven't either, so I
Yeah.
really wouldn't. I don't know. Like as an actor, how would you have to look on YouTube for things, or would you have to like go find people who actually know how to do that? Who have that had that happen before, and get some, do some research on that, like
I
because a
think
lot of
doing
these movies they don't
research
do
is
that
important.
anyway.
Yeah. Well, no, I think doing and granted, I don't think I can act for shit, but I do agree with doing research for everything that you should be doing. Like if you need to act like you have a compound fracture, research a fucking compound fracture first so you know what that means. And then that has got to be one of the most painful things in the world.
Especially if they show like the bone sticking out like they did, like
They
you
did.
then
Yeah.
you know if a bone is sticking out of your leg,
You
so
can't walk on
A, you
it.
can't walk on it real well at all. You can't
Yeah.
walk on it. And you're gonna have to be carried pretty much by two people the whole time. Not
Yeah.
one person
Unless you
helping you.
splint it somehow and but like still then like the amount of pain that you would be in or have to pretend to be in. I just feel like that would be like your whole mindset the whole time. But whatever.
I mean, I
He
guess
dies. It's fine.
yeah, he dies later, yes. Being shot
He
too.
gets
Like
shot.
it's fucking shot, which was nuts. I thought like, oh my God, really? That's how he's gonna go out? And how did he walk around everywhere, no problem, everything? Like he didn't even look like I'm just now remembering, but like when he came up to see Kelsey and everything, he didn't look like he was limping. I don't remember him limping.
See, that's what I'm saying. I was like, I didn't want to shit talk him, but
But
at the same time, he's like,
yeah,
oh, here's
this
my
is
girlfriend. Like, I know you get distracted because you haven't seen your girlfriend in a year, and like there's a crazy family kind of trying to kill you. So like you focus, but you're
but
fucking
you've got a fucking bone sticking out of your leg.
your
Like
leg is broken.
a
Yeah.
compound fracture, damn it. Like start acting like it,
So
you know?
you see what I'm saying.
And
So
I
I
am.
think
I mean,
the whole broken leg thing. I feel like I don't know. Maybe it just was
maybe that's what everybody was shit talking the whole thing on
it was
IMDb.
just
I didn't look
too
at it.
after the fact. I would have been like, why don't we just fucking leave that part out? Like, no offense, dude, but you're just not selling the broken leg thing. So why does he have to have his leg broken the
Why
whole
does
time?
he have to have
It's
his leg
clearly not
broken?
slowing him down.
I mean, I guess for that guy to leave or
I guess
something.
that is it. It gave you the gap of time of why they're in the woods for so long before this, because they were trying to get out before the sun goes down. So if his leg was stuck in the tree,
Huh.
and then the dude that they didn't know that they went into the woods with went to go get help, it's I guess that was the part of the story that they needed in order to keep them in the woods for long enough for the sun to go down, I guess.
So
Mm.
somebody wrote, I turned this movie off after the monster tore off the dude's arm at about 10 minutes in and then slapped him with the soggy end. He was like, I just can't.
I don't understand why you would ever turn something off. That description is awesome.
That does sound awesome. But that was
You get
one thing.
smacked with your own arm
With the
that was ripped
soggy
off of
end.
your body. That's awesome.
Um, somebody said no point watching this flop. No point.
Who says flop?
Especially about like indie films, like
Like,
because like I get it if you're talking about like a Hollywood movie, they say that all the time. Like it was a flop. It just didn't do well. Whatever. I have a whole show called Hollywood Knockbusters, which we explore movies that just didn't do well, that were flops. But for indie film, I mean, was this really a flop? I mean, it went to Tubi. It's getting attention. You watched it. Like I
I don't know
think
one person who I've ever heard say that an indie horror movie was a flop. So that person's weird.
yeah, well, all right, I'm not reading anymore because you're criticizing the criticizers, which
No, read
could be
more.
a
They're
whole
fun.
which could be a whole show, where people
It
just
should be.
criticize criticizers, like
It should be
actually
because
there are what is it, the when people read mean tweets. You ever see
oh
that?
yeah,
Like
those are fun. Those are funny.
those are hilarious because people like sometimes it's actually very hurtful shit that people say, and the
But you have to
people
laugh through it.
you
Yeah.
have to laugh through it, so it's kind of
Yeah,
funny.
exactly.
Um,
Flop.
okay, I'm trying to find this one does not say flop at all, I don't think.
Damn it.
Um, so for a horror movie, then Reed's point was a swing and a miss. So it's not a flop, it's a swing and a miss. Once again, another
I was
like
gonna say,
old
don't they
school.
say that? Isn't that written often? A swing and a miss.
That's like a baseball term though, right? Like
Yeah,
a
it's
swing and a
just
miss.
that's weird.
Um, and this is definitely not a movie that I would recommend you waste your time, money, or effort on. It's free on Tubi, so
Yeah, what
go
money?
watch it. Some of us suffered through the movie, so you don't have to. Trust me on that one.
Are there
Um,
any good ones? Or are they all bad?
the next one after that says, "Nope, sorry." So I think it was answering your question.
That's
Um,
so
Terrible acting. I'm sorry to the filmmakers who are maybe
so
watching this
mean.
video because this is mean, but like looking back at it, it's like sometimes I like to read mean reviews of my movies because like sometimes they're constructive and sometimes
Right.
they're just mean spirited, and I'm just like, okay, like
Yeah.
I've been bullied and oh Jesus, there really
Constructive
isn't.
criticism is good, but just being an asshole is not.
The highest rating from a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being good, is 7. So that kind of gives you an idea of there was a 7 and a 6. Everything else was a 1 or 2
Well, that's
or
good. There's
so.
a 7.
There's a 7 and it says generally enjoyable creature feature. So
Hmm.
good
I,
God, they
I like
actually
the term
really
creature feature.
they did do a bunch of I'll just read the ending because that's what I've been doing for most of these. As well, combined with the obvious low budget here that comes through at the most inopportune points for the nighttime sequences being too dark to tell what's going on. These here are the main drawbacks. Um, so awesome. I
Hmm.
guess they're just reviews mainly. I mean, that's whatever. Some people are nicer than others on these things. There's a 6, you know. So not really that bad.
Yeah.
Um, that's probably a 6. So it said I took a point off. He should have, whoever did this should have did a quotation, but it was, I took a point off my rating for bad ending. Otherwise, I like the movie. So I would agree sort of that the ending was probably the worst part of the movie.
So he did the rating and then went back. Like he did the rating before he finished the movie and then went back because he finished it and fixed his rating.
Um, well, it said I also expected a cliched ending because that's what you get in this kind of movie. But even cliches should be done well, and this one was not. It didn't make any sense to me, even in the context of low budget horror movie. I took a point off my rating for a bad ending. Otherwise, I like the movie.
I agree. I mean, it didn't make any damn sense, but who gives a shit? Like if you're somebody who doesn't automatically like indie horror, you're not gonna give it a good rating. If you're somebody who doesn't like crappy practical effects, you're gonna give it a shitty rating. If you're
Right.
somebody who needs like to know every answer, every plot, blah 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 in a movie, you're probably not gonna like this one very much. And like
Are you just putting things you want to put on the poster? You know,
like you have
this is
to
our quotes.
you have to understand that to take it for what it is. Like people that are like, this is garbage, don't even waste your time. Like, okay, I understand. Like if you didn't like it, that's fine.
Right.
It's probably not your thing. If you're not a fan of cryptids, you may not like it. If you're not a fan of indie horror, like I said, like if that's not already like your bag, that's okay. But
Right.
don't be like, this is awful. What was I thinking? Like, what were you thinking going into it? What did you think it was going to be? Calm down.
Exactly. You have no idea what like if you like of course. So I always go in with like low expectation. Well, not low, but
Definitely. Yeah,
not
yeah, no, I
not
know what you mean. Yeah.
I not really high expectation. I'm not expecting an indie movie to blow me away exactly. But if it does, then I'm happy because there
Yeah.
are like Hatchet was one of the movies that at the time not a lot of people had heard of, and then all of a
Right.
sudden it was everywhere. People were talking about it, and then it became like this smash hit and
Mhm.
everything. But if I had not heard of Hatchet, before, and I saw it on Tubi, I would go in going thinking, okay, this is another low budget slasher movie just happens to have Kane Hodder in it, or whatever as the killer, which not many people can afford that,
Right.
or whatever.
And Robert
So,
Englund's in it.
and Robert Englund and Tony Todd. I mean,
Yes.
it's got and to go back to
Danielle
Blair
Harris.
Witch, Joshua Leonard in the
Oh yeah, yeah,
original
yeah.
first one.
Mhm.
First one. The second one had Danielle Harris.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I do get them mixed up sometimes.
Well, I like all four of them, including Victor Crowley. So second and third are okay, but I think Victor Crowley really kind of
I
brought it
think
back.
the first and second are my favorite.
I think a lot of people don't like the third that much. And I have no idea why, because I still kind of liked it. I don't know.
Which one's the
But
one where they're in the plane?
that's the fourth one. That's the Victor Crowley.
I didn't like that one as much. I don't know
Uh,
why.
I think it maybe because it was, sort of, I guess it was coming back to it. So maybe it kind of lost like the momentum of the first three,
Maybe
thing.
it was
But
fun, but I think it was probably my least favorite out of all of them.
yeah, I think also I knew about it actually before it came out because I was talking to Felissa Rose on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, "You can't, like, well, this I can say this now, could not say this before." But
Mm-hmm.
she was telling me about it, and she was like, Don't tell anybody that, this that I told you this and stuff." And I didn't. And then it came
Good
out,
job.
so now I can, I guess.
You
Sorry,
did good. You
Felissa.
did good.
Yes, I did eventually spill the beans now, years later after it's already come out.
It's
So if you didn't know the fourth hatch was out, you know, now you do.
fine.
So go
You have
watch it.
to catch up, man.
Yeah, go catch up to the franchise. Anyway, I think that's it. I think there really wasn't much else. I mean, this movie was it was okay. It wasn't terrible. Like, if you had to give it a 1 to 10 scale, 10 being good, or, really good or whatever. I mean, what would you give it? I'm interested.
Um, I would probably give it a 7 because I personally like the Jersey Devil in cryptids. So I'm already intrigued and I think it's worth watching. And I like the practical effects. I like creatures, and it's something that I couldn't do myself. So I give them props.
I would probably say 6. I mean, because I feel like it had it had more potential than what it
Mm-hmm.
did. And then now that you're talking about I didn't even think about how terrible, like, the bone coming out and everything. That just
That
Now that
was
you said
probably
that,
the
that
worst
just
part.
now
Sorry.
that no, but that just kind of like put they're saying the ending took a point away. I think that took a point away now that I'm like thinking about it. The ending was pretty bad too. And because they had to figure out a horror way to end it,
Mhm.
and it didn't make any sense. So,
Yeah.
if it made sense, I would have been like, "Oh, okay." But I was very confused. I was like, "Wait, what?" You know, this is not a movie you can ever look at your phone, because you look up and you're like, "Wait, why is she gone?" And there's a
Yeah.
Jersey Devil there. But even then, if you don't look at your phone, it happens, and you're just like, "What the fuck did I just watch?" So I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. I kind of liked that it made no sense. And I think that's
Oh,
because,
you liked it? You like that? Okay.
yeah, I liked it. Like a lot of people I know with random movies, they're like, they didn't answer anything. It made no damn sense. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I like that it makes no sense. Sometimes my brain makes it even crazier. But I think I liked that it made no sense pretty much the whole time. Like, it wasn't like it was real, like there was a whole lot of plot going on and then they just dropped it at the end. Like, the end was weird. It made no damn sense. But to be fair, it made no sense throughout the whole goddamn thing. Like,
So
in
you're
the
okay with the
beginning,
ending, like, making
well,
no
like
sense, because
in
you're
the
like,
beginning, the weird, so it automatically, I thought it was weird when they got into the RV and there was a lady who was like the server. Do you
right,
remember? Like, so
yeah,
there's the driver, there's the dad, and then there's the kids, and then there's this random woman who's like, "Hi, I'm the server today, bringing
right.
drinks and shit." It's a fucking RV. Like, it's not like you're on an airplane on
It's
in
not like a limo
coach.
or
Yeah,
like,
no, it was just really weird that like there was a servant on an RV going to
I mean, it was, I
Jersey.
guess, a rich family.
Rich families don't have RVs like that. It just it
I
didn't.
mean, I thought they rented it out, and they were just like, I don't even know what was the point of them going to where they were going. Where were they going? I forgot. Like it.
Oh shit, what was that? So I remember that the rich dad was like, we got to get going because he had to go for a business deal in Rhode Island, and that's why he was there. But they were dropping what the hell were they doing?
They were
The whole
doing
fucking
something.
precinct is gone.
I think it had something to do with graduation or something because they were like high school. And that drove me nuts too because I'm like, these 30-year-olds are not fucking in high school. Like this was just that Alex guy looked like he was like,
I think he's young. That Kelsey chick is 18.
is she?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, well she looked older, but maybe that was just the way they made her look. I mean, I don't know. By accident.
Where were
Just
they going? Shit. It just yeah, it just says
I don't
car
know. They're
crash. I remember him saying he had to get to Rhode Island, but it sounded like they were dropping the kids off somewhere.
yeah.
And like randomly, as they're going through New Jersey, they swerved to not hit a deer and completely all fucking crash. And so the driver, the servant, and the dad all
Died.
die. And then,
Which was very convenient
yeah,
because the driver was also the guy in the outfit. Now, they did this. So I looked it up on
really?
IMDb and it said that there were two people who were also the creatures,
Uh-huh.
right? So one of them was the driver or
Jane.
whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other one was the crazy guy. So, or whatever, the not crazy guy, not Joe Estevez, but
Oh,
the
Hank, the dad.
no, uh the what was his name? God damn it. The guy who was who the brother of Kelsey.
Oh, Eric, I think.
Eric? Yeah, I think that's his
I
name.
think
That sounds
the
right.
younger guy who's dressing up as the Jersey Devil. Yeah.
Yeah, so he okay, so let me look at this real quick. So it says Eric Creature, a guy plays Joseph Almani played Eric and Creature stunt performer. So and then bus driver James was also Creature's suit performer. I guess suit performer.
Oh, so he was the creature. So they swapped when when he had his arm ripped off and smacked with it.
Yeah.
It was the younger kid doing it.
Yeah, probably. Which makes sense. But they had to have two people play the ones and stuff. And
Or they
I
had
mean,
the FX guy hop in the suit real quick and help out. That
exactly.
happens a lot too.
Yeah. You know how many times Kane Hodder has, played like Kane. It was so funny to see Kane Hodder uh attack Ken Kersinger in my favorite Friday the 13th, which is part 8, which everybody
Mhm.
hates, but I love. I have a fondness for. There's a part where he attacks him inside the was it he's like the Ken is what is it the cook or whatever
Mhm.
and the Manhattan. Have you've seen it, right? You've seen part
Yeah,
8.
that's actually my favorite one too.
Yay! All right. I knew there's a reason I
When
like you.
he kicks a ghetto blaster, it's the best thing I've ever seen.
I think that was I think if they made it more about Manhattan and less about the cruise, I
Uh-huh.
would have loved it even more
Yeah,
because that's what I loved was all the humor in Manhattan.
yeah,
But
yeah.
when when they fight each other, you know, if you know this at all, but like King Kersinger later played Jason in part was it Freddy versus Jason
Hmm.
and stuff. And Ken was a stunt performer, so he would play Jason on times that Kane Hodder wasn't going to be able to do some of the stunts or something. He would do some of the stunts, so he
Hmm.
would get in a Jason outfit. So it was like Jason fighting Jason in that scene,
Yeah.
which was kind of cool. Like, or was it Kane Hodder fighting himself in Jason Goes to Hell, which obviously there was somebody else dressed up like Jason beating Jason or Kane Hodder up, you know. But that happens in a lot of these movies, you know.
Yeah. No, you,
Um,
you have to kind of play with it, switch
yeah.
things up.
Well, I think we're pretty much at that time to wrap it up, but I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a lot of fun. And
Yeah, thanks for having me on. I like rambling about cryptids, so
yes, that was the best thing, honestly, about this is I had no idea you were even familiar with this legend at all. Like I at all the people I picked, and it was just random because it was a random movie, a random pick. And then when you saw it, you're like, oh, I'm interested in this because
Yep.
I actually
It was
know
just
some of
meant
the
to
stuff.
be. Yeah, anytime you need to know anything about some weird cryptid stuff, I'm a big fan of research and weird things, so I usually can go on and on about them.
Well, I will definitely hit you up about that. I know there's been a ton of type of movies I'd like to make someday that are cryptids. Like I would love to do the Chesapeake Lake Monster one day, Chessie, which
Yep.
nobody's done. And I'm like,
Nobody
it's,
knows about Chessie.
not many people, but I'm like,
They're
when
like
I heard
nesting.
about it, I was like, there's a Loch Ness monster in our, like that's just awesome. Like to
You
me, that's
should. That would
cool.
be fun. Somebody should do it. You're right.
Yeah, well, somebody will watch this and then it'll be out there and now
Well,
somebody is making one, you
that's
know.
all right.
Yeah, well,
You can
ideas come
always,
and go.
yeah, you can
And
always
how
do.
I could always make my like they can't copyright Chessie, so
That's right.
anybody can make another Chessie movie. You just gotta make it different than the last one.
Exactly.
So anyway, thank you so much. So this will be October that this comes out. Can you tell us a little bit of what's going on in your life? Like go into the future. Like what has already happened and what's going to happen for you?
Future. Well, we are in post-production for Late Checkout, the movie I'm in, which I'm sure Molly and Bailey have mentioned as well. I
Yep.
don't on it, they may know more than me. I don't know if that will be available or out since there it's in the finishing editing process and all that. So when that will be able to be released, I don't know yet. I don't know if they've mentioned that or if Molly might know because Molly, was co-writer and assistant director and everything. So she knows a lot more than I do probably. But that was super fun. Late checkout. I am going to North Carolina in a couple weeks to film The Fur. It's a short film that Josh Graves is writing and directing that I'll be in. So that's super exciting. And
Nice.
there's a couple other projects that are going to be at the beginning of the year that I'll be in a couple short movies like Wedding Night. A movie called It Feeds is coming out in August of 2023. So I get to play some. I might be able to play some creaturey type demony characters.
Nice. Those are always fun, right?
So fun.
You
Well,
know.
I think yeah, I think I like those things anyway, and they really, really get me excited, and I'm intrigued by them, and just loving horror movies. That I'm just so like happy and excited to be able to have that opportunity to do that. But
Right.
anytime somebody needs a giant 6 foot tall, tattooed lady, then
Oh,
I'm
you're 6 foot. Okay.
I'm a very tall, large lady. so
That's nothing
so
wrong
that
with that.
they often can play with my size that way. So
Yeah, that's sort of funny. So they have to find killers that are taller than you,
yeah,
generally.
that was actually I was concerned in Late Checkout, just needing to be in a scene near the killer or anything like that. I was like, how all right, how are we? How tall
Because
am I? How tall are they?
were they taller than you?
A little bit, yeah, yeah, a
Okay.
little bit, yeah.
All right. Well, there you go.
But yeah,
Generally
I'm
speaking,
pretty much a monster if I'm in heels, so it works out.
wow, yeah, jeez. You could play the killer, like, you could play the slasher killer if
No,
and
maybe
you're
I have.
maybe I don't know. I don't know the story of Late Checkout or any of these movies, so who knows.
Right. No,
But anyway, and no spoilers
no.
unless we're doing a review of it, which you can't be on,
Right.
because, that's not fair. You're just gonna praise it and say, "Oh, it's the greatest movie of all time," you know,
Pretty much. It is.
right? Well, thank you so much. And where can people reach you?
Reach me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm on Facebook, which is Mouse with a Z, no S, Mouse Cravensworth. And I am also on Instagrams. You can find me under Mouse Cravensworth. I don't have a TikTok or a Twitter or any of that stuff. I don't know how to use any of that.
So Cravensworth is your actual real last name?
No, I wish I should change it to that.
Oh, nice. So
My
you
last name is
actually,
Parks. I'm really Victoria Parks. but I go by Mouse. So Mouse
Okay.
Cravensworth is mainly because of my love for What We Do in the Shadows.
There you go. But I was gonna say, I was like, wow, you got a really cool, last name already. But that's
I would definitely change it to that if I could, but I work for the government, and changing your last name with the government can take months and months and months, and it's just a big pain in the ass. So
that sucks.
yeah, what do
Well,
you do?
there you go. And they're watching you. They're making sure you're not, changing your name and doing all that stuff or whatever. So, well, thank you so much. And I'm excited. Everybody, tomorrow join me again. I have no idea what the movie will be or whatever. I never do. So, until it all comes out. So, but thank you. And thank you everybody for checking this out.
Yeah,
Let us know what you
thank
guys
you.
think. Have
I
a good
had
one.
fun. Bye.
Bye.